Hey kids, it's me, Ms. Young, and I'm coming to you from the biography section of the Bunger Library. Today I'm going to talk to you about nonfiction and encourage you to read some nonfiction books. There's a lot of great nonfiction out there that a lot of kids enjoy, and if you're like me and you like learning about new things you've never heard of before, it's a great thing that you can look into. So I'm going to share some of my favorite nonfiction books with you. One book that is always popular with young people is A Child Called It. This book is told by Dave Peltzer, and he talks about his life growing up with an abusive mother. It's pretty graphic, but a lot of kids empathize with Dave, and they like hearing about his childhood. It's a great pick. It's also part of a series, and we have those books in the library. I love learning about history, and Turning 15 on the Road to Freedom is a great nonfiction piece about the March to Selma and what led up to it during the days of Martin Luther King. It has really short chapters, and it gives you a great picture of what went on during the Civil Rights Movement from the eyes of a teenager. I also like reading about war and soldiers. I really admire their courage, and I'm really interested in learning about battle. If you're like me, you should read Ghosts of War. This book by Ryan Smithson talks about what it's like to be a 19-year-old in the Iraq War. He gives very detailed accounts of what happened to him in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it is kind of hard to read, but it's also very interesting, and I just loved it. It's a great one. I also like learning about immigrants and immigrant stories. It's something you might be hearing a lot in the news. If you're very interested in this, or maybe you can relate, I recommend Enrique's Journey. This book is about a young boy who's 11, and he's trying to get to America so he can be with his mother. And it really helps you kind of see what it's like to take the journey to the United States. What Enrique goes through will have you having a lot of empathy for other people who've worked very hard to come to America. The last book I'm going to recommend is Being Jazz. This is a popular biography by Jazz Jennings. She's the star of the TLC show, I Am Jazz, and she talks what it's like to grow up transgender in America as a young teen. So there's so many topics you might want to explore. Maybe it's war, maybe it's the civil rights movement, maybe it's child abuse, or maybe it's your favorite sports hero, or maybe you want to learn about a president, or about someone you've heard about in the news. So I encourage you to look into some nonfiction and read a little bit more about it today.